She's got a secret underneath. Yeah, she's this naughty little freak. She likes to put on a show.
Green Bay Packers, for the first time since 2002, draft a wide receiver. Matthew Golden, wide receiver.
And Golden, Matthew Golden, he has become a dynamic player.
Obviously, he's a very gifted athlete, gifted football player, but he's also just wired exactly how we want it.
For the end zone, and it is caught. Middle of the field, he's got Golden, makes the catch despite getting hit.
And I think he's going to fit in really well.
Hey everybody, welcome to Instant Reaction. And the Packers have just made their selection in the first round of the draft, and it's Matthew Golden, a wide receiver out of Texas. And Wes, quit nodding and tell me something.
Electrifying, Larry. This is the fastest receiver at the NFL Scouting Combine. 4.29 seconds. He had the fastest 10-yard split as well. 1.49 seconds. For the first time in 23 years, Larry, the Green Bay Packers took a receiver in the first round in Matthew Golden.
And he's 5'11", 191, so he's not a big, long guy, but he's not small at 191 pounds. He can play inside or outside, so he has that dual-purpose threat. He will catch in traffic, and as much as anything, I really like the fact that he makes big plays in big games. Anything else, Wes?
Well, also some kickoff return stuff, too. He was at Houston before he went to Texas, had 2 kickoff returns for a touchdown there. He made the transition to Longhorns and showed he's a big play receiver. I think it would end up being, 9 touchdowns last season. This guy can find the end zone.
And, folks, I got to tell you, you ought to see the crowd outside. It is amazing. This morning I had a bad feeling. I was thinking, what if we gave the draft and nobody came? Well, they came, and they came in droves. It is mobbed. And for the latest on the Packers draft, keep it right here on Packers.com. Hey, everybody. We are joined by Packers GM Brian Gutekunst. And, Brian, tell me about Matthew Golden, wide receiver out of Texas, your first-round draft choice.
Yeah, so Matthew started at Houston, spent 2 years there, was a very good player for them, and transferred to Texas this past season. And really had an excellent year, played in some really big-time games in the playoffs. And he's fast, really athletic, got excellent hands. And I just think that he's a Packer. He's the kind of guy we want in our locker room. I think he's going to fit in with our guys. And it'll be exciting to see how he integrates into our offense.
You mentioned fast. Well, he's like warp speed.
4.3 flat.
Yeah. No, he's fast initially. He can get off the line of scrimmage and certainly stretch the field. But he's a lot more than just a fast guy. He can get in and out of his breaks. He gets open against man coverage. And like I said, he's got excellent hands. And just, again, very versatile player. Can play inside, can play outside, can do some kick returning as well. So I think he's going to be a guy that can help us in a lot of ways.
I don't know beans about playing wide receiver, but it looks like when he goes after the ball, he just kind of snatches it or plucks it out of the air, and he's a hands catcher. Is that accurate?
He is a hands catcher, and I think that's an important thing for all of our receivers. And I think he's just scratching the surface of what he can be, and I think he has a chance to be a very good pro.
He also seems to have a knack for making big plays in the big moments. That's got to be attractive.
Yeah, and I think that you got to give him credit, taking the step up to Texas where they were playing in big-time games and playoff-type atmospheres. You need some of that as you develop, and he certainly answered the bell when they called on.
Brian, do you have a sense of how happy you made the Packer Nation, who was in force out here tonight, how happy you made them by selecting a wide receiver in the first round?
Probably not in the moment, but as Mark got up and we got to watch it in the draft room and watch him announce it. And first of all, I think it wouldn't matter who we would have picked. That atmosphere was electric from the beginning of the day before the draft started. You could kind of feel it. And then just watching that live, it was just one of those really special moments in Green Bay to have the draft here. And you just got to give Mark Murphy so much credit for his ability to get that done and the vision. Like I said, it was just, I think the whole organization just is really, really proud of what we saw tonight.
Thank you, Brian. And for the latest on the Packers draft, keep it right here on Packers.com.
Good evening and welcome to the NFL Draft. To the end zone, it's intercepted.
We take a lot of pride in the people that we bring into this locker room. We're obviously chasing things that are really big around here.
Down the middle, touchdown.
The guys that we bring into this locker room, they need to be the kind of guys that are going to fit into that culture and add to it.
Can't avoid the sack, down he goes. That throw's intercepted. Touchdown.
Every year, this is an opportunity to make your football team better.
The Green Bay Packers are on the clock.
The Packers enter this week's draft with 8 picks. If that stands, it would be the fewest selections Green Bay's had in 6 years. But as we know, GM Brian Gutekunst is not afraid to trade up or down, so that number is subject to change. One thing made clear during Gutekunst's press conference on Monday, he likes what he sees from this Packers team.
I feel really good about our roster right now. If we had to go play next week, I feel really good about our roster and our ability to win and go compete really across the board. So, hopefully as this draft unfolds, we're able to just kind of sit back and select the best players that fall to us.
And as for this draft being held on site right here at Lambeau Field, Gutekunst is all for it.
It's been really cool to see the organization, the city, everybody rally around. This is something I don't think a lot of people thought could ever happen. Whatever complications there are well worth it, and I'm just really excited to see how this thing comes together. And I just think you got to give Mark a lot of credit. This was obviously his vision, and for him to be able to pull this off has been really cool to see.
One of the most important things to you in life is when there is a historical misconception, you always want to correct that. You want to right that wrong. And many people are saying that this is Wisconsin's first NFL draft, but you have something to say about that.
Would you like to go on a journey with me back through time?
Yes.
Please. This is the first draft in Green Bay. This, my friends, is not the first ever draft in the wonderful state of Wisconsin, America's Dairyland. The 1940 NFL draft took place in Milwaukee, and we're going to examine what happened there. We're at Lambeau now. Let's go to Milwaukee to a place called the Schroeder Hotel. The Schroeder Hotel, which opened in 1928. Bring up the picture of the Schroeder Hotel. That's the draft, guys, or that's the room it was in. What we're looking at here is actually a ballroom called the Empire Room. That's John Fitzgerald Kennedy on the bottom left having a function there. You might remember him. That's the room where it took place. Beautiful chandeliers. And it was weird because it took place before the title game. It'd be like, imagine now if you had the draft before the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Very unusual.
Okay.
But I cannot wait to share with you, as we get ready for Cam Ward and Travis Hunter, who some of these players were. The first overall pick in the 1940 NFL draft was out of Tennessee, a fullback named George Cafego. And there he is, number 5. Let me give you the listings on Cafego. 5'10", 169 pounds, first overall pick. Tom, you think that the team was excited to draft him? They couldn't
looked like
wait.
a real fullback.
He was the fullback for the Chicago Cardinals. They took Cafego off the board. Another pick, number 2 overall in 1940. Halfback George McAfee. I don't think it was Pat's grandfather. I don't know if there's any relation there. No, that's Cafego. Maybe they messed. There we go. Give me McAfee, all right? He was nicknamed One Play because he was likely to go all the way every time he touched the ball.
Those jackets need to come back. And the pants.
Give me the jackets, give me the pants. You know where that is? That's Wrigley Field, the friendly confines. This guy was out of Duke McAfee, and George Halas traded 3 linemen to the Eagles to get him. Next. 3rd overall pick, the Steelers. Steelers, maybe they'll take Shedeur Sanders tonight. Back then they took Kay Eakin. The only photo we have of Kay Eakin, this is at him registering for the U.S. Army.
Is that his letter jacket?
Yes. We don't even have a picture of him playing football. This is him registering for the Army. Look at the beautiful hat on that woman, too.
Yes.
That is a classy hat. And that is the Steelers' number 3
So
pick.
you're saying those are draft cards perhaps for the U.S. Army and not for the NFL
not the draft. This is a draft to take up arms against foreign enemies. Next. All right, this is the best. I cannot tell you how great this is going to be. Real name, real person. 7th overall pick to the Bears. They take Bulldog Turner. Bring up the picture of Bulldog Turner. Wait to see. Yeah!
No.
Bulldog damn Turner.
No.
All right.
There's spurs on his cleats.
Spurs, chaps, and you think we only have one picture of Bulldog? Bring up the next picture of Bulldog out of Hardin-Simmons University. Yeah, Bulldog! Let's go.
Number 69, carrying that calf over his shoulders and biting down on those wooden teeth.
Kyle, that's your Halloween costume next year.
Bulldog Turner, and I'll have a real cow. All right, this is one of 2 Pro Football Hall of Famers selected 1940 NFL draft. That's a Hall of Famer right there, along with number 2 overall pick McAfee. Bulldog Turner. They're like, we have to have this guy. I think this is him working out. You know, you see these viral videos of guys working out in the woods,
flipping tires.
Yeah, Quinn Miners. This is Bulldog Turner working out.
Wow.
Next, if you think that's the best name in the draft, 11th overall pick to the Chicago Cardinals. Snuffy Sternweiss goes number 11. What's up, Snuffy? And why are we showing a baseball player? Because he never played an NFL down. He signed with the Yankees. That's Snuffy, number 11 overall pick out of UNC, North Carolina. Like Drake May, like
Belichick?
Yes. Belichick would have paid big money to get Stuffy Sternweiss at 11. And guys, it all came out to the 1940 NFL champions, the Bears. They went on to win that championship, which was played right there. 2nd overall pick, George McAfee, who we showed earlier, scored on a 34-yard pick 6, and they won 73-0. Not a lot of team speed in that picture. The game's changed a lot, but they were gritty up fronts, and this was all way, way back in this beautiful state of Wisconsin. Not Green Bay, but Milwaukee. One more time, folks, at the Schroeder Hotel. And when we go out, could we maybe end the segment, if not the show permanently, with the walk-off of Bulldog Turner? Is that the best thing?
This Packers team has elite playmakers drafted in all 7 rounds, beginning with a former first-rounder known around here as QB1.
The Green Bay Packers select Jordan Love, quarterback.
He's continued to grow on a steady path since he's gotten here. You know, he's all the things you want out of a worker and the guy who's leading your football team.
A tracer from Jordan Love.
Edgerrin Cooper, linebacker.
Brought down in the backfield by their young stud, Edgerrin Cooper.
What a great draft pick, and what a great person. He loves ball. He's got a really bright future.
Tucker Kraft.
How hard he works, what it means to him, it's really no surprise that it manifests itself on game day.
Diving catch by Kraft.
Zach Tom.
Zach has definitely solidified himself, and he's a dominant tackle in this league, and he's been locked down.
The Packers got a right tackle for the rest of the decade.
Zach Kingsley Enikbare.
Every time I'm on the field, I go out there with the mindset I'm going to make any play.
Enikbare again.
My biggest strength is my hustle and my relentlessness.
Sacked. Carl Brooks got him.
He's got a high ceiling, so we're going to keep pushing him, and I know he'll push himself as well.
Picked off by Carrington Valentine. Carrington Valentine would have none of it.
An explosive player who's got ball skill. He's looking for the challenge. He's looking for the confrontation. His brand that he brings to the defense is something that we definitely welcome.
As for this year's NFL draft right here in Green Bay, the Packers have picks in every round. 8 total selections, with 2 of them coming in round 7. Keep it locked on Packers.com throughout the draft for the very latest.
Hey everybody, it's 3 guys with 3 things from the Packers draft, and Mike, you're up.
Well, Larry, the 23-year drought of first-round wide receivers is over in Green Bay, and Mark Murphy made that announcement to the hordes of folks outside Lambeau Field. Matthew Golden, the wide receiver from Texas, is the Packers' first-round pick. 21 years old, just 3 years in college, first 2 at Houston, then he transferred to Texas, and Texas didn't quite get him going right away. The first 8 games last season, he only had more than 50 yards like twice. But then in the back half of the season, the other 8 games, he had over 50 yards in a game 6 times in 8 contests, and a couple of those were monster games, like 150 yards or so. This is a young guy whose arrow is pointing straight up.
Weston.
Athletically, he checks every box, but I think like Brian Gutekunst was talking about, it's the adversity he's faced in his personal life and how he's overcome some of those challenges. He talked about it before the draft today. You know, his family had lost some property that originally belonging to his grandmother. One of his big goals was after getting drafted, he wanted to buy that property back, which he was telling people is for sale again. And you would think with the Packers signing bonus, first round pick, he'll be able to do so. But a guy that I think very much so has stayed true to himself. I saw one interview too his grandmother did tonight saying the moment he was born, we thought he was going to be a superstar, but even this has gone beyond their wildest imagination.
I've read where Matthew is a great young man and sounds every bit of that. The other thing I wanted to mention about him, he has a penchant for making big plays in big games. He rises to the moment, and you love that in your skill position players because they got to make the plays. And a big shout out before we leave for the Packer fans and actually the fans of the entire NFL who came here tonight. Wes, how many did you say?
205,000 people around Lambeau Field in a town of 100,000 people normally in Green Bay.
And I was worried this morning, what if we gave a draft and nobody came? They came out and they came in droves. That's Three Guys with Three Things. See you next time.